Hey family, we are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I'll see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think I have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
We won't stop. We will not stop.
Sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so bright, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give, something's telling me this time. Baby, baby, now
See this?
I
You cannot go
Baby,
here.
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give, something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled
who
to
are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Thank you guys for showing up. We had a family member that reached out, which is Sugar Mama, and she was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to talk about this case that's going on in Maryland. You guys, we're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna stay on here long. Got other things going on, but I wanted to share this because I look at what some of you guys send me and." And the minute that I snapped on the video and it was the news and everything telling me this story, I was like, oh my goodness. First of all, let me give a shout out to the first 3 people that came in. You guys get tickets to the Christmas in July giveaway. That will be Lisa Taylor Sanjay. And then we got Woke to God that's in the building. So you guys make sure you hit the like button and the share. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. We're not going to stay long, but we're going to talk about it. But it's not going to just make you mad. It's going to be like, this seems like a repetitive thing that's happening. And see, the thing about looking at these stories, this is how you can make a decision. What is true, what is not true. So we're talking about this little girl. Her name is Nola. Nola Dinkins. That's her name. She's a pretty little girl. I don't know if we got a picture of her, but let me see if we got a picture we can bring up. Let me go get this picture so you can see. Let me see if we can bring that picture into the building somewhere here, because we got a picture of her. And Let's see here. Oh, there's a picture of her right there. Let's download that picture and bring it on in. Okay. We got it. You guys hear me? So let me show you the picture of the baby. Because that's what we're all about. So I want you guys to see this little girl. She's just the cutest thing ever. She is. She's a cute thing. So this is who we're talking about here. And so the mother and the boyfriend is, I guess, they're both going to be charged, but I don't know as far as charges to death. The mother done already admitted to what she has done. So let me tell you about it, and then I got a couple of little videos so you can see it for yourself. But let me read to you how this went on. So they put out a Amber Alert just the other day for this little girl because the mother went to the police and said, "Hey, she was driving on the highway, almost like Carly. Remember Carly? Hey, Carly." And she tells them that she stopped on the side of the highway because the little girl was upset and she had to discipline her. So she stopped on the side of the highway to calm Nola down. And so she said a dark SUV stopped. A white man, okay, hey Carly, again, with a patch, Bozo the Clown, and a white lady with blonde hair at gunpoint took this little girl. That's the only difference in the thing, but it's pretty much almost the same identical story. So they put out an Amber Alert for this little girl in Maryland. And they were looking because, that's dangerous, her name. So an Amber Alert for Nola was canceled Wednesday. Today is Friday, so it was canceled Wednesday. And they said they believe the mother. Her name is Darlena Randall. So it might sound, or when you see the spelling, it's a boy's name. But the mother, she fabricated the whole story. So the alert for the missing girl had been issued the day before and claimed a white couple had kidnapped her daughter gunpoint around 7 p.m. A description of a bald male suspect around 40 years of age with a patch of peach fuzz on his head was put out, and the law enforcement started looking for this person. Randall also reported saying the man took off with a blonde white woman in a car. So the mother described a terrifying encounter where she had pulled over to the side of the road on Gender Road in New York, Delaware, which is, okay, to speak with the teller because she was upset. But within a day of the search, which also include a vehicle description of a dark colored SUV, they now say and believe that the entire story was false. It's not clear to the investigators in the case how they came about to believe that it was false, but they took Darlene Randall into custody on Wednesday afternoon. She has been charged with filing a false police report in the tragic update hours after the Amber Alert was canceled. Officials said they found a body around 4:15. Now, here's the thing, you guys. The body has not been officially been named as the 3-year-old, being Nola, but it is. Okay? You guys know it is. Because here's the thing. She didn't already admitted to it. Okay? She already admitted to it, and she even admitted to what she had did. She said she had got mad at this little girl, her daughter, and decided to whoop her with a belt at least 15 times and said the girl's not breathing. She told her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend helped hide the body. They took both of them into custody. I'm gonna let them explain to you. Let me see, where can we start? Let's start with let's see. Let's start with this. Let me share my screen with you guys. Share my screen. Oh my goodness. Let's see which one we want to share. Yeah. Let's 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 start with sharing the press conference. Okay? I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys see? Just please put a one in the chat if you guys can see where I'm at.
Elena Russo, ELENARUSSO, spokesperson for the Maryland State Police. At this time, the Maryland State Police have arrested 2 individuals connected to the disappearance of the 3-year-old who was the subject of an Amber Alert in Delaware last night. They are identified as Darian Randall, 31, and Cedric Antoine Britton, 44, both of Northeast Maryland. Randall is charged with first and second degree murder, first degree of child abuse resulting in death of a minor under 13, and other related criminal charges. Randall's currently in police custody at the Newcastle County Division of Police awaiting extradition to Maryland. Britton is charged with accessory to first and second degree murder after the fact, failure to report child death, and other related criminal charges. Britton is in police custody and is awaiting transport to the Cecil County District Court for his initial appearance. Yesterday evening, after the Amber Alert was issued for a 3-year-old Nola Dinkins through Newcastle County Division of Police, after the mother reported her kidnapped in Newark, Delaware, an intensive investigation was immediately initiated. Maryland State Police from the Northeast Barrack, as well as our Criminal Enforcement Division Northern Region, assisted in this investigation with the information that the 3-year-old lived in Cecil County with her mother. Information gleaned throughout the investigation revealed that the initial report provided by Randall was false and that Amber Alert was subsequently canceled. Information that was gleaned through the investigation of the Maryland State Police Homicide Unit led to human remains found in a vacant lot today at 1:45 p.m. in the Northeast region of Cecil County. Maryland State Police Homicide Unit is continuing this investigation and is leading it with the help of our federal partners, the FBI, as well as our police partners in Delaware. And at this point, I do not have any identification on them.
Sophia's search for a used vehicle started at FordBlueAdvantage.com and landed at her local Ford dealer, where she found
human remains, but they are consistent with those belonging to a child. And that is all the information I really have for you at this point.
Have authorities ever been called to that home before?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Elena, the second suspect you named, do you know what the relationship between that suspect and the child is, or if you
Police believe Randall is the mother of the 3-year-old, and the 44-year-old Cedric Britton was living in the same house, and he is believed to be her boyfriend.
Did they have full custody? I understand the father is Indiana. Do you know anything about that?
I cannot answer that, I'm sorry.
Okay. And as far as the child abuse charges and murder without an ID, how did you guys come to that conclusion?
In consultation with the Office of the State's Attorney in Cecil County, our homicide unit investigators had enough information gleaned through the investigation that connected these 2 individuals with the disappearance of this 3-year-old.
So they were arrested in Delaware, but the mother and the 3-year-old lived in Maryland.
mother remains in Delaware in police custody, and the boyfriend is in Maryland State. And the boyfriend is in Maryland in state police custody.
So, but the 3-year-old lives in Maryland with the mother full time.
That's what we believe at this time.
Okay. Do we have any? Do we know why the mother was in Delaware to the arrest?
The part of the investigation involving the Amber Alert and the false report that this mother allegedly gave is all still under investigation, and any information or any questions you have about that part of the investigation should be you should probably ask the Delaware authorities.
Can you tell us a little more about how you knew that the child with this body was in the park, and more about the specific area?
It was information that was gleaned throughout the investigation in the leads that our homicide unit investigators were able to obtain that led them to the site where the human remains were discovered, which was in a vacant lot in Northeast.
Can you be any more specific about where that lot is? Do you have a street name or anything?
All of that is part of the ongoing investigation.
We had our choppers over our car and kind of make sure that we were on target.
Ever since the Maryland State Police began their part of this,
You guys, let me explain something to you. The mother has already admitted to what she has done. That's how they found the little girl. And the boyfriend has admitted his involvement, where he's like, I didn't take her out. If she's telling about what she done did, yeah, I helped her. I put her in the suitcase, or I put her in the lot. And right after they did this to the little girl, they went to a home association meeting. He was at a home associating meeting. I'm going to let you guys finish telling you, but I want you guys to know, when she's not answering the question, like, how did they know where the body was? She was in a suitcase. They had set her out on the back porch, and then they took her and put her in this vacant lot that was adjacent to his property, the boyfriend's property. Okay? And let me tell you, yes, she said they both was arrested, and one was in Delaware, one was in Maryland. Well, he had a bond of $75,000 cash bond. He is now out on bond. Okay? He's out on bond right now as we speak. And she's still in jail.
this investigation, they have been searching neighborhoods. They've been searching community parks. They were combing through areas in Cecil County looking for any signs of this infant. It wasn't until evidence was obtained through the investigation that led them to this vacant lot.
Okay, so we don't know if it was Perryville Community Park.
I don't believe it is. I can research that for you, though.
Where was the 44-year-old man when you got
him? Maryland State Police were assisting with the Amber Alert part of the investigation when they learned that the 3-year-old lived in Cecil County. They responded to the home, and that is where they made contact with the 44-year-old man involved in this investigation.
Were any other kids, or do any other kids live in the home with the two that you mentioned?
I do not know if there are any other individuals that live in that home.
Was she cooperating with police?
Yes, both individuals have cooperated with police since the beginning of this investigation.
Does Ms. Randall have any other family members in the state of Maryland, and are they cooperating with police?
I don't know about any other family members.
Does she have any priors?
I don't know that either.
Okay. Do you know how long they've been living there, or?
No, I'm sorry.
Do you have any plans to release them?
If I can get it, I absolutely will. Yes, I'm working on a news release now, and I hope to issue that within, I promise, 30 minutes. wait, we decided we don't have positive identification of the body. We do not have positive identification of the human remains that were found.
And she'll be extradited here tomorrow. Is that correct?
That was a good clip, you guys. I wanted to share that with you guys because I wanted you to know exactly how this went down. I want to share another clip with you real quick. Just so you'll know. Let's see if it's a mom admitted to. Let's stop sharing that. And let's go to another one. Let's see here. Let me share mom admits to it. Yeah. Let's go to that one.
As I was reading them for the first time, we're sitting in the truck just astounded. But yeah, a lot of this, of course, is a Newcastle County Police Department story. It all started here. But police in Maryland now say 31-year-old Darian Randall didn't have her daughter stolen here in Delaware. Like she said, they say she beat her to death with a belt back on Monday. And then they say her boyfriend hid the body. They say this whole Amber Alert thing that led to the Amber Alert, that had all of our phones screaming at us Tuesday night, it was all just an elaborate cover-up.
I don't have words. Honestly, I don't have words.
Neighbors here in this Northeast Maryland community said they never saw Darian Randall or her 3-year-old daughter Nola living up the long driveway in the home of 44-year-old Cedric Britton. They say they barely knew Cedric and have no idea what he even did for a living.
It was surprising and shocking to see all yesterday.
Court documents show after police began investigating the accusation Nola was stolen off a quiet road in Newark, they learned what really happened. They say Randall had beaten Nola 15 to 20 times with a belt on Monday and that she collapsed and died after wrapping the child with saran wrap and putting her in a suitcase. Police say they drove around with the child's emaciated body, but later came back and put the suitcase on the basement steps. They say the next day, Cedric hid the body on a vacant lot more or less adjacent to his own property. By Tuesday night, Cedric must have known police were onto them. He had literally just been added to the local homeowners association as his girlfriend was reporting Nola missing.
We left that HOA meeting, and as I understand, he was talking with neighbors in the parking lot after the meeting, and his phone was being called and called and called and called. And then he got a 911 text, and he said, I got to go. It's my girlfriend.
Police say he eventually confessed to all of the allegations and told them where the body was hidden. Both he and Darian Randall are now behind bars. She currently remains in a Delaware prison.
We just can't fathom how a human could do this to another human being. And that someone so close to us here in the neighborhood could play a part in it is just devastating.
Yeah, and we found court paperwork from Indiana that shows Randall changed her custody agreement with Nola's dad to move here to Maryland to be with her boyfriend. I've been trying to reach out to him today, but haven't been able to connect. I also just learned that despite prosecutors asking that Britton be held without bail, in the last few minutes, we have learned that the state's attorney put out a statement saying, despite their request, he has been allowed out on home detention and $75,000 cash bail. He is allowed to go back home temporarily. For now, we're live at Newcastle County Police Headquarters.
Okay, so they said that he is allowed to go back home. I didn't see him saying he is at home. He's allowed with 75. Excuse me for that. There was a correction. You guys, I don't know how to express the craziness that this is happening to our kids. People are, it's almost like the same, they tell this story, somebody kidnapped my kid. And then, the weird thing about this whole story is it's a black woman and she's talking about this black kid. And, it wasn't nationwide, basically, I guess if you live in that area, you probably got the Amber Alert. I'm not saying they didn't do the Amber Alert. They did the Amber Alert because she gave them a description of the car. She gave them a description of the people. And, when people make allegations like this against the opposite race or a different race, it causes conflict with how people deal with other race. It's almost like when that one young lady said that somebody stole her kids, Well, actually, I think her name was Susan something or whatever. But she said that somebody took her car. Her kids was in the car. And so they went on this massive. I mean, that was really almost the first time I ever heard of, kids getting kidnapped. And then my mother was alive at that time. And yes, Susan Smith. Thank you, Lisa Taylor, for that. That was her name, Susan Smith. And, I remember my mother and my grandmother being scared for, African American men because Susan said that, these African American men had took her car. And so they were looking for just, it was just so much. It was so much. And being a kid and seeing how the black community, and I'm just saying this stuff because sometimes people say, well, if it was a white person, they wouldn't be mad or whatever. I mean, hey, when you're talking about a kid, it doesn't matter if you're black or white or people purple or whatever. But I know they don't look for the black kids as hard as they would a white child, but they assumed real quick that she was lying. When Susan Smith told her lie, and by the way, I think Susan Smith is almost ready to get out. I think I seen something about her getting ready to get out of jail, but they went along with what Susan Smith said. I'm not saying she's a good liar. Maybe she was a better liar or something, but they believed her. They didn't taunt her and say, now we know you're lying. And, no black people done went and, kidnapped got your car, robbed you, got your car, and then got your kids or whatever. They assumed she was telling the truth, and people were mad. And I remember my mom and my grandmother saying, oh my goodness, like, and my mother would say, she lying. And I say, Mama, that doesn't even make sense. Why would you say that this woman's lying? And it's easy somebody to hijack your car or take your car, and then you got your kids in the back seat. That's easy. But my mother knew. And my mother said, you live a little longer, honey. You live a little longer, you'll be able to distinguish between the truth and the lie. And I said, well, what did you look for? Well, why do you think that this woman is lying? My mother said she has so many details. This is what she said. She had so many details that when you're in a situation where somebody done took your car, your kids is in the car, you don't even remember what your kids was wearing. You can't, you're not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, he was wearing some blue jeans and a striped shirt and he had a little, a onesie on underneath, and, the car that drove, you're not going to, she said, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, that's why she said, yes, that's why, because when you're in flight or fight mode, trust and believe the details is going to be so where it could just happen and they can ask you 2 minutes later and you're just not going to have all the details. You're just not. You're going to be frantic. And, and now thinking about, I was in a car accident back. I could not remember the details. And I was right there trying to give the police, what color was the car? What was the tag number? Who was driving the car? I mean, I can say, this car ran in front of me. I seen kids, but I couldn't tell them what color was the kids. I couldn't tell them, what they was wearing. I just couldn't. And then I'm thinking again, when my baby came up missing, when he walked away from the house, they were asking me, what was he wearing? Well, I wasn't there. What did you put him to bed in? I don't remember what I put him to bed in. I don't remember. I didn't look to see if his shoes was there. I didn't look to see if he had socks. I just know my child is missing. Right now. Let's go figure that out. What if he got his shoes on? I don't know if he got his shoes on. I just didn't know the details when they were asking me the details. I couldn't tell them if he had shoes, if the shoes was in the house, because I didn't look to see if the shoes was in the house. All I know, my child was missing, and I can't even remember what I put him to bed in. So yeah, you be very distraught. So that's what my mother would, she told me. And I mean, one thing I wanted to share with you guys is, as like she said, you live a little longer, you'll start to be able to distinguish people that will tell you a lie with a straight face. They said that this guy went to a home associating meeting right after he done put this child in the lot. Now, you remember they said the little girl, the mama, wrapped her in this saran wrap, I guess. See what I'm saying? So I guess so her body wouldn't smell, or they wouldn't be able to, the dogs wouldn't be able to pick it up. But they put her in a suitcase and then they dumped her. So I don't believe her whole beating this child was to unalive her, but it did. It did. You guys, it's just, like I said, we look at these cases, and then when the cases come back up, it may be a whole different person, different name. Her name may be Sally next year or in the next 6 months. And they say, well, Sally was on the side of the highway and some man came and kidnapped the baby. And you know what? The first thing you're going to think, like I think, nah, no. They kidnapped the baby and they had red hair on both sides, and then you're eating, you're eating, what is it, whatever kind of candy or chips you're eating, your Cheetos or whatever. No, you're saying too many details. You're giving too many details, and so, and the thing about it is, we hear the same story over and over and over, especially when a child come up missing. Like, people just not gonna. First thing that she said that did not make any sense is, you have a black child, okay? Just listen. You have a black child that a white man in his 40s, an older white man with a gun, didn't take your car, didn't take your money, didn't try to seduce you, just a black man, a white man, an older white man, 40s, took your child. Okay. And they're going to ask, well, why did you stop the car? Oh, she was getting upset, so I had to talk to her. And so while I was on this, so he randomly driving on the highway, waiting for a distressed woman with a child that he can take. Okay, you don't have to be an investigator to figure that out. Like, what is this older white man? He didn't see to see if you had a phone. He didn't hit you, or you remember when people always say something, especially about cars and highways, and you remember when Malia Davis came up missing. The guy said that Mexicans had, the car had did something on the highway, and he said he thought they was going to get out and help him. Next thing you know, he was hit in the head and placed in the back of the truck, but then was let out, and one of the kids was gone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, I mean, you can't, first of all, when you look at these stories and how people involve other people, that is a horrible thing to do, because you do want it to be where people will believe you and start looking at somebody else. Anytime, it's just like if you stole something and somebody say, hey, we're going to check everybody's pockets or whatever. Well, you're going to, and you thinking, oh man, I'm finna get caught. So what are you going to do? You can't just sit there with it on you. So you're going to go put it on someone else. That's the truth when it comes to lying. You go put it on someone else. So I'm saying this to you guys. You might be going through some things. I'm going through some things right now myself. But I see that sometimes people distract from people looking at them, and they want them to look at you. Now, you got to clean up yourself. If you did something wrong, you've done something wrong. If you didn't do everything you were supposed to do, yep, it can be embarrassing, and it might be embarrassing, but it the way what they want you to look like, it may be very small. But remember, when people will lie on you, if they can, here's the thing. If you're doing everything right or in the best that you can do, and you're doing everything right, regardless if you're doing something right, when people get ready to want you or get you in trouble or something, they will look. They will continue to look until they find something. That's because they're targeting you. They're looking at you. Like the minute you come in, the minute you leave, what are you wearing? What did you say? Da 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 da. And sooner or later, they're gonna find something. But it's almost like if you've been out in this world before, that's what happens, right? You know how it works. And they don't stop with one. And if they can't find something that's truthful, guess what? They will start lying. Now, what can you do? Well, you can complain, or people be like, fight back. I tell you guys this, and I believe it with the bottom of my heart. And I'm a person that don't like conflict. I don't like it. I don't wish it on nobody or anything. But you fight fire with fire, guess what happens? You get a bonfire. You get a bigger fire. That's all that happens. It gets very messy, and nobody really wins. People be like, well, you can't just lay down and let them walk all over you. No, you can't. But what you can do is, have your dignity, have your values and morals and stuff. And maybe that's just not for you. Mainly is sometimes you're fighting for what? Maybe what you're fighting for is not even that important. And it has really, you want to say it has to do with you, when in all reality, it's not important. Sometimes you got to let little stuff go. That's not, it's really nothing. It doesn't, it ain't going to do you no good staying there, getting your name all messed up and stuff, just so that somebody that, that's beneath you it doesn't even matter. But they will tear you down. If they can't find something on you, they will start lying. And this is what I'm saying. Just like this young lady and her boyfriend, and this is what she did. She took the child out. She took this baby out of the world. Let's look at her. This is a cute girl. Pretty baby. Gosh, she's pretty. Just cute. She kind of reminds you of the little girl that the woman that was the petty officer that was in the army or whatever. That's who she reminds me of. Just a cute little girl. Do you not know that this woman literally fought with the baby's daddy to get custody, full custody of this little girl and move out of state so she can be with this boyfriend? Got with the boyfriend. Why are you beating this child? These women just lost their minds. Yeah, the baby do look just like the mom. I think. Let's see if we got that. We got that picture of the mom. Let me see, where is it at? Fight isn't. Yeah, let's see. Okay, picture image. She kind of do look like the mom. I got her mom's face covered a little bit, but you guys can see it right here, right there. Yeah, she looked just like the mom. What would make you just want to kill your baby? Take your baby out. Y'all, if y'all don't think that this world is coming to an end, y'all crazy. I'm serious. There's some people that's in this world that's supposed to blow that horn. Y'all are out of your mind if you don't think for 1 minute that this world that we live in, that everybody love to be in, they be like, I'm going to fight for my right. I'm going to do this. There is so much evilness in this world. It's unbelievable. And our kids are subject to it. That's why, some people, I used to think they were out of their mind when they say, I don't want to bring a child in this world. I'd be like, why would you not want to give life and have someone that looks like you? And to be honest with you, you think about it. Yeah, the mom was 31. Yes, Carla. The mom is 31 and the child is 3. And her boyfriend was 44. So she was with an older man. And of course, I thought he was already out of jail. But evidently they said that he can get out of jail. And he's a homeowner too. So with him, telling everybody, yeah, I didn't take her out. I did help her hide the child or whatever, messing around with evidence or whatever. He'll get a littler sentence. But you know what? And I think the reason why he went ahead and told the truth, because she had already told the truth. And then he's thinking to himself, I hope she ain't saying I did it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just trying to help the woman. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just sad that she took this from the father. Like some fathers, like some women think just because you're a woman, you should have the baby. No, I'm a firm believer that, the child was made from, the mother and the father, and they're equally, you're going to have a bond because you're carrying the child, but that doesn't mean that every woman that carries a child and bears a child is fond of the child. She could have been jealous of the child, getting tired of the child, and like I said, just her anger, taking something out on the child, not meaning for probably to just to beat her really good, give her a good lashing, let her know who's the boss, quit crying, quit asking for stuff. I got to give you a bath, I can't, it ain't about me no more. It's about you now. You look like me and everybody, oh, you so cute, but I'm nothing. I can't even get dressed without you crying. Just get tired. Women get tired. Some of them are not good mothers. And you guys can't sit here on no day and tell me every woman allegedly are supposed to be this good mom or this good woman, because some of them are not. The majority of them will protect the child and be there for the child because they bonded with the child, carrying the child. But some of them don't have that bonding glue that they're supposed to get, you know. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. Even when carrying a child and you having bad times, you lose your house, you lose your job, or they fire you, or they don't want you at work. It's stressful. And then when this child come and you got nothing, you won't say it because we know other women will sit there and judge you and be like, "Oh, you're mad." But yeah, they put the child in the suitcase all night. Yeah, they put the child once the child was deceased, they saran wrapped the child. Hey, Diane, they saran wrapped the child and then put the child in the suitcase and took the child to an empty lot that was adjacent to the boyfriend's home. And the mom told where the baby was, and then the boyfriend told. So they both when she said that they were both, uh, talking and trying to get to the trying to get to the point. They basically was saying, yeah, they didn't have to go and do no, oh, really. I mean, it's called investigations because you do got to get them to talk and you got to have certain ways to say, hey, we know where the child is. And then one of them go, oh, so he told. Yeah, he told. And maybe he didn't tell. So she's like, okay, I'll go ahead and tell you. I whipped the baby about 15, 20 times. I hit her with the belt. She stopped breathing. I tried to give her CPR. It didn't happen. I got scared, wrapped her in some saran wrap, put her in a suitcase. My boyfriend came home. And we put her out on the back porch so the smell won't be in the house. And then we drove around with her, and we finally just put her in this empty lot that was right across from his house or something. Crazy. you know anyway, this is happening too much. Yes, it is. Anyway, you guys, I don't know how you feel about it. Like I said at the beginning of this will make you happy or not happy, but because, anytime a child die, it's not a happy thing. That's not what I meant. When I say, well, this will make you sad or make you angry, but the good thing about the whole situation is you're starting to see when these cases are happening, they're pretty much the same. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to probably have a different name, different state, but the situation is the same. And then you can sit back and go, girl, that is not true. And people be like, oh, no, SP, you're wrong. It is true. I'll be like, no, it's not. It's not true because I'm seeing what I see. It doesn't make it true. Anyway, you guys, I was gonna let you guys know another thing that has played. Also, I wanted you guys to know that. Well, I guess we'll talk about it later. We'll see how this weekend go. You guys, this is Friday. I know it's payday for some of you guys, and you're gonna get out there and do what you do. It's nice seeing you guys. Thank you for showing up. You could be anywhere else, but you was here with your girl, SP. And I will see you guys Monday. And I did have another topic we were going to talk about, but I guess we'll talk about that Monday. This was just something that I wanted to share because I knew that it's almost a repetitive thing that we're seeing how, and the weird thing about the whole situation is, you guys, that's why when Cupcake came up missing, nobody didn't believe April. Nobody didn't believe April. Somebody took her child. First of all, this is a black woman, and then somebody took your child, and then we didn't know where she was at. We didn't know why you would just leave her at a birthday party that you wasn't invited to or anything. That's see, it's not because she's a good person or she's a liar or she's a black woman, but it's very weird when a black woman say that somebody, I'm not saying that it can't happen, that people will not adopt your children. They will. But with the way society is, society believes that black children is like, if you're going to take a child, they prefer a white child with blue eyes, with blonde hair. They don't prefer a child that comes from a race that will have certain things like, you know, maybe a drug addicted mother, father, or maybe, uh, just certain type of thing, heart disease, blood pressure, high blood pressure, because, we don't eat well, we don't eat right, just things like that. Because in all reality, it's very easy to uh, see another race and see black children with another race, and everybody think, yeah, it's a good thing. But so if you're gonna take a child, you probably would not prefer to take a black child. You know what I'm saying? That's how they believe. Like if a mom couldn't bear children, I'm just saying, if a mom could, first of all, like, and this is just my thinking, you guys. First of all, women that cannot bear children, they want children. It don't matter what color they are. If they can't bear children, they want children. Not gonna say it can't happen, but normally black women that cannot bear children, they got nieces and nephews that their sisters or cousins that they can go and get, and the family don't care what time you bring them back. They be like, you can keep them for the summer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's more likely that a black woman not going to go and steal somebody's baby. I'm not saying they can't. I'm just look at the geographic of what I'm saying. You can get mad all you want, but I'm just telling you the truth. Like me, like I'm an older woman right now, and if I'm feeling some kind of way because my kids are grown or whatever, I got grandkids. I'll be like, boy, I'm finna come get my grandchild for the week. Or I can go call one of my cousins and say, girls, you tired of one of your kids? Let them come and spend the summer with me while they out of school. They'd be like, okay, come and get one of them. Which one do you want? Or you can have them all. We don't have to go take somebody's kid because a family member is out there that wants to party, that wants to work, don't want to pay daycare or can't afford daycare, that will be willing to let you take their child for a week or a month or the summer. I'm just being honest with you. My grandchild done stayed over here for weeks and months at a time. All of my grandkids. I be not knowing when they gonna come and get them. But So there's never fret that you don't have any kids around, that you can always love on other people's kids. But in the white community, they may not share their kids the same way we share ours, because we're not only just sharing like, girl, I'm gonna let you get some motherhood in. No, we don't share them because of that. We share them because it's hard to raise a kid. And if you want a kid for a week, come and get one of mine. We be like, okay, you're gonna feed them and make sure they clothes and take their bath, and you're gonna do that. And we share our kids because sometimes it's too much. And if somebody else got time and wants some parenting, time, and see how it feels, that's what happens. And that can get you in trouble too. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here. Make sure I always give you a word of courage. I don't know what you're going through, but if you're going through anything like what I'm going through, keep your head up. Don't let nobody see you sweat. Don't let nobody see you angry. And I tell you what, keep a smile on your face, because God is real, and he will take care of it, and it will pass. My mom say, let it pass. All right, you guys, be good. Bye.